Chosen one. Have you ever looked around at the people in your life and wondered, do they really care about me, or just what I can do for them? If you're the strong one, the wise one, the giving one, you might not realize it, but you've been targeted. Not because you're weak, but because you're powerful. And power, when it's pure, attracts the wrong kind of people. They see your light. They feel your healing energy. They notice how people gravitate toward you, and they want a piece of it. But instead of admiring it from a distance, they get close, too close, and not with love, but with intention. This is when the draining begins, quietly, strategically, spiritually. You may not see it at first because you're wired to care. You're designed to give, but soon you start to feel it. That fatigue in your spirit, that subtle unease after every interaction, that questioning voice asking, why do I feel so empty after helping them? This is the first sign. They take, but never pour back into you. Every conversation becomes about their problems. Every moment you're together becomes a therapy session. But when you're down, when you're tired, when you're emotionally worn, where are they? Suddenly unavailable. Too busy, silent, and you brush it off because you tell yourself you're strong. You don't want to seem needy, but inside, your soul knows you're being drained, and worse, you're being used. The second sign is manipulation dressed as kindness. They flatter you, compliment your gifts, call you strong, wise, different. But it's not pure praise, it's a setup. They build you up so they can make you feel responsible for them. They don't ask for help directly, they guilt you into it. You're the only one who gets me, they say. I don't know what I'd do without you. At first, it sounds sweet. Then it starts to feel like pressure. You're not helping out of love anymore. You're helping out of obligation. Out of fear they'll break without you. And that's not spiritual connection. That's spiritual bondage. Third, watch how they respond to your boundaries. The moment you say no, do they get distant, passive-aggressive? Do they question your loyalty? Or make you feel guilty for not showing up? That's a red flag waving right in front of your third eye. Because real love respects your limits. Real love honors your space. If they only love you when you're available, useful, and saying yes, they never loved you. They loved your access. Chosen one, this world is filled with people who look for light, but can't generate their own. So when they find someone like you, someone deeply connected to the divine, someone empathetic, someone self-aware, they cling, not because they want to grow, but because they want shelter. They want energy. And they don't care if they have to drain you to get it. And here's the most dangerous part. Some of them don't even know they're doing it. Energy vampires aren't always malicious. Some are just broken, wounded, addicted to being rescued. And when you're a natural healer, you attract the broken like a flame attracts moths. But that doesn't mean it's your job to burn. The fourth sign is subtle, but it's always there. When you shine, they shrink you. When you win, they go silent. When you speak with confidence, they correct you. Because deep down, they don't celebrate your rise. They fear it. They don't want you to outgrow the version of yourself that serves them. You were more convenient when you doubted yourself. Easier to control when you second-guessed your power. And now that you're starting to walk in truth, they feel threatened. And what do they do when they feel threatened? They start gaslighting. They'll tell you you're being too sensitive, too distant, or not like you used to be. Not because you've changed for the worse, but because you've started protecting your peace. You've stopped explaining your boundaries. You've stopped making yourself small. And they hate that. Because now, you're harder to use. Fifth, their patterns repeat. You give, they take. You help, they disappear. You forgive, they do it again. It's not one mistake, it's a cycle. And the longer you stay, the more it costs you spiritually. You start feeling confused all the time, spiritually cluttered, like your intuition is cloudy. That's because their energy is sitting in your field, blurring your vision, blocking your discernment. You can't see clearly when you're carrying their chaos. Chosen one, your empathy is a divine gift, but when misplaced, it becomes a doorway for harm. You were never meant to be someone's emotional dumping ground. You were never created to carry people who refuse to walk on their own. You can support, you can love, you can inspire, but you are not responsible for someone else's refusal to grow. And I know, walking away is hard, because part of you hopes they'll change. You see their potential. You feel their pain. And that part of you, the soul that wants everyone to win, is beautiful. But it's also what makes you vulnerable to spiritual leeches, because they know you'll stay longer than you should. They know you'll keep pouring, even when your own cup is dry. But here's the truth. Your purpose is too important. Your calling is too divine. And the people who truly love you will never force you to shrink to fit their comfort. They'll rise with you. They'll celebrate your boundaries. They'll pour into you like you pour into them. That's real love. That's spiritual alignment. As you awaken, as you begin to see clearly, some connections will naturally fall away. Let them. The more you heal, the less chaos you'll tolerate. The more you grow, the more your spirit will crave peace. That's not pride. That's protection. Because the chosen ones don't just carry light, they protect it. And when you start protecting your light, everything changes. When you start protecting your light, everything changes. Because the sixth sign becomes undeniable. You start to notice how peaceful your life becomes when they're not around. It's not just relief, it's revelation. That tightness in your chest, gone. That constant mental fog, clears up. That draining energy you thought was just life. It vanishes the moment they stop calling, texting, or showing up. And suddenly, you're able to breathe, to think, to feel like yourself again. That's the universe confirming what your spirit already knew. Their presence was costing you more than you realized. And sometimes, that clarity only comes through absence. You had to be pulled away from them long enough to remember who you are without the weight of their needs on your shoulders. But this is where the final test shows up. The seventh sign is this. They come back, just when you start healing. Just when your light is returning. Just when your boundaries are holding strong. That's when they suddenly miss you. That's when they act like they've changed. They'll send a long message. Apologize without really taking responsibility. Talk about the good times, or even worse, act like nothing ever happened. Why? Because they don't miss you. They miss your energy. They miss the access. They miss the version of you that gave without asking, that listened without limits, that showed up even when you were broken inside. But now, you're not that person anymore. You've grown. You've seen too much, felt too much, learned too much. You've realized that just because someone is wounded doesn't mean they have the right to wound you. Chosen one, this is the moment where many fail. Not because they don't know the truth, but because the truth feels lonely. It hurts to admit that someone you loved was only ever loyal to their needs. It's painful to accept that your kindness was never fully returned. But that pain, that's not weakness. It's transformation. That's your soul letting go of attachments that no longer match your frequency. And when you finally release them, not just physically, but spiritually, you make room. Room for real support. Room for divine alignment. Room for relationships that don't just take from your light, but help it grow brighter. Because here's the deeper truth. Being chosen means you're not meant for average connections. You're not here to fit into spaces that ask you to dim your fire. You're here to elevate, to awaken, to shift the energy wherever you go. And not everyone can handle that. Not everyone deserves access to that. And it's okay to be alone for a season. It's okay to say no. It's okay to walk away from people who only love the version of you they could control. Because on the other side of that release is freedom. The freedom to hear your own voice again. The freedom to rest without guilt. The freedom to evolve without apology. You're not here to be used. You're not here to carry everyone else's burdens while your own soul cries for help. You are here for purpose, for power, for healing that goes both ways. So if you're watching this and you're realizing that someone in your life fits these signs, this is your confirmation. This is the nudge your spirit has been trying to send you, and not out of hate, not out of anger, but out of self-love. Your peace matters. Your energy matters. Your light was never meant to be wasted. Let them call you selfish. Let them call you changed. Let them call you distant. Because those who love you for real will never make you feel bad for choosing yourself. They will protect your peace like you protect theirs. They will honor your boundaries. They will love you through your growth, not fight against it.